Prince Edward, Duke of Edinburgh, is the youngest of 4 children of Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip. Edward led a fairly quiet and scandal-free life compared to his other siblings. He and his wife Sophie, Duchess of Cambridge, supported the crown for years and were favorites of the late Queen. But they do their best to hide their private lives from prying eyes. Because of this, even royal fans may know less about Edward than they do about other more high-profile members of the royal family. However, that doesn't mean he's a complete mystery. Edward has taken on more and more responsibilities over the years and is a core member of the royal family. We've compiled some of the most interesting and bizarre moments from his history, including rumors of feuds with his siblings, disagreements over royal titles, and his strained relationship with the press. There is much more to the Duke of Edinburgh than you might imagine. When meeting with the public, members of the royal family usually greet some of their loyal subjects with a handshake. At most royal events, members of the royal family take a little time to walk around where they greet the audience and shake hands with some of the crowd. This actually began more recently with Queen Elizabeth II. The tradition was explained in the documentary Queen of Peace about her reign. Harper's Bazaar quoted Princess Anne from the documentary when she explained, "We never shook hands. The theory was that you can't shake everyone's hand, so don't start." But after Queen Elizabeth decided she wanted to meet the public more personally, a handshake became more common and something of an expectation. Princess Diana, Kate Middleton and other members of the royal family followed her example, greeting the public in a similar manner. But one member of the royal family still prefers not to shake hands with the public. As he greeted the crowd, Prince Edward waved and addressed people, but did not stop to shake anyone's hand. Although his mother established the tradition, Edward seemed worried about how long it would take. According to the Mirror, Edward and his wife, the Duchess of Edinburgh, were happy to talk to well-wishers outside Buckingham Palace. But Edward apologized that he wouldn't shake hands with anyone because he wanted to talk to as many people as possible, not stop to shake hands. Family ties, especially between siblings, can be strained, and that remains true whether you belong to an ordinary family or belong to the world's most famous royal Windsor family. Prince Edward is the youngest of 4 children of Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip. The eldest and heir to the throne, Charles was born in 1948, Princess Anne in 1950, Andrew in 1959, and Edward in 1963. Andrew is 4 years older than Edward, and it seems the pair had something of a sibling rivalry as children. According to royal biographer Ingrid Seward, quoted by The Express, Andrew was much more boisterous than his younger brother, and often teased the quieter Prince Edward. Andrew bullied everyone and constantly hit his younger brother, Seward wrote. If he saw Edward going for a certain cake, Andrew would try to grab it first. The boy's character has remained very different over the years. Edward was sweet and quiet compared to his brother, who often threw tantrums. At school, Edward excelled his older brother. He excelled in sports and drama and even became the head boy. After school, Edward went to Cambridge, while Andrew went straight into the army. It seems the two have always had very different personalities and, as a result, a somewhat strained relationship. The royal family was rocked by scandal when it became known that Prince Andrew was involved with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Although Andrew claimed he had done nothing wrong, he was accused of sexually abusing Virginia Giuffre when she was 17, and his numerous attempts to close the case were rejected. The case was later dismissed after lawyers reached a settlement whereby Andrew was to donate a substantial sum to his accuser's charity. Before the case reached its conclusion, the Crown took action to dismiss Andrew from its ranks. Buckingham Palace issued a statement saying, with the approval and consent of the Queen, the Duke of York's military affiliation and royal patronage have been returned to the Queen. This stripped Andrew of his military and royal titles. Although the final decision was made by the Queen, Andrew's siblings held many meetings to discuss his behavior and how they should handle it. According to the Daily Mail, Charles asked Anne and Edward what they thought about how to handle Andrew's problem. The siblings, including Prince Edward, all agreed to strip Andrew of his titles. They were all in agreement, which took the pressure off their mother.